I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. So come on.
Okay, right. Hello, everybody. Just got a couple of quick questions. Kevin and I were talking about taplining. I can sort of vaguely understand it, but he was saying, and I've read that taking and agreeing to take medication for various medical problems can lead to taplining. And I just wondered what happens if you actually need the medication to keep you alive, more or less, or else it's just to relieve the symptoms of something, because one pill will give secondary things and then you take a pill to stop that. I just wondered what would happen about that.
Well, the idea, young lady, is that you just do whatever makes sense. In other words, all of us are the effect of something, and all of us have relationships or certain types of tap lines, etc. Because many times we're going to be the effect. Usually, most people are the unconscious effect, but many times you're going to be the conscious effect of something. So as an example, let's say most of your life you ate all the good stuff that you thought was good, and all of a sudden it catches up with you. Now you've got to take some kind of medication, etc., to offset it. So in this instant, you're more so the conscious effect of it. You see, you're dealing with it accordingly. That's the body itself. So if there are, but when you step up and you use the new you, etc., well, the boys are there to protect you and keep these things to a minimum, you might say. But again, during the day, you're making choices yourself, you see. So it's not always the medication, but many times, medication can help, like anything. I've taken it before, very, very small, but I don't take it constantly. No, not at all. I've taken it a few times. But if it comes to the point where you're thinking that it's helping, because all these things are, for the most part, they're not natural, and they actually go through the body and they destroy everything, is what they do. So maybe you can stand that a few times, but if you keep doing it, then it's not working anymore. Then it's just a habit. It becomes an obsession. And then it's not necessarily so much of a tap line, but you're continually being the effect of it, you see. And so again, you make that determination. And so the real side will give you hints to that. I get that too. I've got this personal self that I have to deal with. We all do. And it's not always easy. And to live the perfect life or whatever here, no, it's not easy. So you're going to be the effect of things. Tap lines are just the effects of certain things, but you get beyond the basic overall effect to where you're, more conscious, more aware than being totally the effect of everything here and totally tap line, you see. So you'll get through most of them.
Okay, thank you. Just another quick one. My daughter came around the other day and Kevin was here. Kevin was sort of saying bits and pieces about the new presentation, and my daughter was saying, how do you know it's true, over and over, and prove it? I'm sure I've asked a question like this before in the past, but would you just sort of say, well, whatever, we agree to differ, or push it on her? Not push it on her, but try and tell her more about it. Hopefully she'll understand a bit better.
Well, it's like, it's like the Olympics. You try it and see if you make it. And if you don't, you don't. So the thing is that, each person, each one of us has our adventure with this. All of a sudden, we're waking up, and you'll see it with anything in the world. When the car was first invented, as an example, whoever did it, Henry Ford, or we'll just say Henry Ford, whatever. And so he's trying to tell people, hey, you don't need horses anymore. I've got this thing here. You just drive it, and, you don't have to feed your horse or own a horse. You just drive this car. Well, at first, I'm sure people didn't accept it, but as he started to demonstrate it out there, all of a sudden, little by little, people started to catch on, you see. So, yes, over the years, I've said a lot of things to a lot of people, and I would sometimes be there with hours with them, drowning them. This was many, many years ago. I don't do that anymore. I just say a few words because the books are there. I just figure if a person really is interested, start reading the books. It starts to give you a reference to something. And yes, the idea comes up many times. How do you know it's real or whatever? Well, this is where it's just with each of us. That's just how it is. And so, this is where the real side comes in. If a person will experiment with the new you simply and watch their dreams, this becomes kind of that aha moment. It's like, whoa, my dreams really opened up, and all of a sudden I'm seeing more, etc. So this is where the individual proves it to themselves. We really can't prove anything. What we're doing here is we're creating reference, is what we're doing. That's all we can really do, is create a reference. Everything is a reference. It's not a reality like people think, like the religious, political, spiritual paths. These are just all make-believe stuff. And this is what we're seeing in creation. Because again, everything, once you recognize it in some way, it refers to the recognition of the is. And we also need those things that don't refer to the is to recognize that they don't. We need all sides of it because it all adds up to it. So presenting this to somebody, yes, the boys have the same position. I've seen it many times, and they have the same position too. It's just you decide to take on the adventure. This is where I create projects. I create things to do that kind of tippy toe into that area to where if people start to notice, but lots of times they don't until they do notice. But those of you that are here, the boys picked you to give you the opportunity, but you decide. You are always the decider every single moment. And so last night I was with the boys, and there was this one gal. She decided to leave, and it was very interesting. It was in a car, and I was with her, and I was going to drive the car back when she went so far. And so I brought the keys to, it was probably Yabel up there. He was kind of on like a hillside. And then I kind of left the scene, but as I was leaving, I heard him say to her, are you sure you want to leave? Are you sure you want to go back? And so, again, it's an individual affair, and there's no perfect way to do it. It's always a choice every single moment. It is a choice every single moment. This is where the sun is a great example, because again, it demonstrates a real pure sincerity because it's always shining. It doesn't go back and forth. Even when you don't see it, it's still shining. And so we decide to be aware, okay? And it takes a lot to be aware. It takes a lot of process to go through. And so, and the ideas that we have here confuse us. Well, do you believe it? Is it real? Is it that? It's not. Again, life is an isness. And because people have been taught distortion, they have to get through their own distortion to finally see that life already is, to recognize that isness. Now, if they were taught and raised a particular way, it'd be a lot easier for them. But in the meantime, they've got to struggle through it, buy books, go to seminars, do all this stuff and try and figure it out. And then there's so many things out there that have been created from other ideas, etc., that, yes, it's very confusing because it becomes that real. So presenting this, it looks like anything else. It's understandable. And realistically, I came from the corporation. I came through that, 30 years of that. And the people there, they can't figure out what I'm doing. You see, they just can't see it. And so because they're they're so into what they've known for the longest time, and they feel safe with those ideas, even though now it's become a distortion. It's ran its course. When Paul left, that was it. But the ones after that tried to pick it up, but they really couldn't, and they weren't creative, so they tried to do the same thing, and it just got more distorted. Everything gets more distorted. Everything only gets worse, you see. And so, especially when the main character is not there. And so, yes, presenting this, yes, it is a real challenge. I like the challenge of presenting it in all these different ways, and this is where most of the public cannot figure out what we're doing. But I would say, you know, look at what we're presenting and look at, you know, read the material as an example. Does it make sense? You know, you start to compare it. But you got to take time to do that. Just like anything, if you're going to become a doctor, you can't read the book, you can't read the medical manual in 1 or 2 weeks and think, oh, gee, I'll never be able to do this, or I don't believe this, you see. And so, yeah, it's a heck of a road to take on, and this is where most people won't, because it doesn't align itself with social behavior. So it's easier for them to say, well, I don't believe it. Just like the chemtrails in the sky, they see them, it's easier for them to say, I don't believe it. You see, they just, again, it's the personal self. And but you stay, if you don't take on the adventure and become the risk taker, then you stay unaware. You've made your choice. You must explore. You must figure things out. You must figure life out. But presenting this, yeah, it's a huge challenge. But I like it because when push comes to shove, I'm the one that learns. But it's not about me. It's about everything. But at the same time, I'm the one that's learning. That's why I do these Skypes and everything, because I see so much more by becoming involved. Those people that just read the books and do the new you by themselves, they get parts of it. And yes, they can have communication with the guides and whatever, but the bigger picture is when you really step out wholeheartedly with your whole life and you face everything. That's where you really get the experience. But again, everybody decides, you know, their position, etc., how they want to become involved in this. And yes, at first it's kind of scary. But no, we don't drown people in it either. We're not here to convince them. We're not looking for followers or members or any of this stuff. No, that's not the idea. We're not used car salesmen. Like the sun shining, you present it, and then you just let it be. It's always there, and especially on the real side, they're given hints. And you even talk to many people on the real side that you don't realize, etc. You're always coming into contact with individuals. And see, our whole thing is not about what we've created here. This is just a reference. And the businesses and whatever. These are just things we're relating to. We're just utilizing the business world. Our real reference is the true reality life is, not the gods of man or some master or some idea like that. It's the true reality that must be recognized. It's not a literal thing where you become self-convinced. There is a difference. So this is the best part, and that's the endlessness of freedom that the individual can eventually experience, and then stand with the whole of life and do and be what the is, and then you see all of life. It's a much better view. But to get there, yeah, and to present this, yeah, it's a real challenge. But this is a small window that's here right now, like never before. And so everything that's been brought up to this point is a start. But this gets the individual into the real position. But they've got to learn to recognize it. And so, you know, a step at a time. And this is where, again, the new you comes in. And if they will do that part, because, again, anybody can read or say anything. They can write anything. But getting them to experience something for themselves. But then, again, they have the right not to. That's the difference, too. So you'll know. You'll know what to do.
Okay, thanks. I think we have another problem in England, that English people are very reserved, and if there's something a bit different, they will walk away very quickly. And if anybody's dressed up in, say, in a funny costume, it's all, don't look at them, don't look at them. We're quite a strange lot over here. Okay, thanks very much.
You mean those? English UK people that wear mohawks and color their hair
Not s-
purple? Or are you talking about them?
no,
The
not
ones that are in the
just
bus.
the average person. The average
Oh,
person.
okay. I thought they were the average person because when I see pictures of people in the buses or the whatever, you got all these funny characters and outfits, etc., dressing like the Beatles or
Yeah, no,
the
not
Rolling
nowadays.
Stones. Yes, yes. I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
kidding.
people, if somebody's dressed as a bunny to advertise something, people don't want to look at them.
Yeah,
It-
I get it. It's the same here, Gwen. It's the same all over. Okay, it's no different than the thing is that because the world controllers have created this situation here, aside from the natural environment that makes sense, that they've created this distortion. They're in it too, and they've created fear and all these things. So for the most part, society is like it is. It's basically introverted, and it wants to stay unaware because it's afraid to wake up. You see, they've created this fear factor, and everybody's afraid of everything. But as long as everything looks so-called normal, then they'll go along with it. You see? Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thanks. I'll pass you back to Kevin. Where are you?
Here I am. Yes. Okay, Pearce, it's your turn.
Oh, all right, Kevin. Hi, everybody. Hi, Duane. Basically, I ain't got any real side experiences, dreams that I've had lately to share, but basically, I've got a reference to one, my first one, one that I shared a while ago on Bob and Sandy's show, where I said that I was out in the nature, I was out in the fields walking, and I just watched one of the videos, one of the Skype chats, and Duane was talking to Jarve. And there was some new you singing on it, and basically I was doing it, and I thought it sounded really good. This new you singing, and basically I was doing it through the field, walking my dog, and I just had this feeling that I never had. Well, basically I've referenced the feeling to the comparison to the only thing I can reference it to is a feeling that I've seen on a film. Well, it's how it made me feel. I know it sounds silly I referenced it because you can't feel a film obviously, but basically, it was the Highlander film where the Highlander was being told by his mate Sean Connery about what kind of being he was and about the quickening. Where it was, I don't know if anyone's seen the film or if you can even remember it. Where it was like connected to everything. Yeah, literally everything, and basically that's like the feeling I had when I was singing the New You to this. While I had heard it, the Africans singing it. So I was repeating it in the field with my dogs one time, and that's it. And that's basically a reference. It was a reference to the quickening, yeah, and that's how it made me feel that time. And another was today. I was thinking tonight about a Skype chat, and I thought, I know, I'll just have a quick New Year. So I had a 5-minute New Year session this afternoon downstairs in my front room, and it's like just that what do you call it? I can't even think what it's called again. A view, not a view. Yeah, basically, I was in my room, and then like I've been getting. They're not premonitions. They're just views. They're just like you're in. I was singing New Year House somewhere else. Like, but this time it's normally I'm in the sunshine. Like I'm in a field, or it's like I'm in nature in the sun. But this time it was just a wave, big massive wave, and it's like I just stayed with the wave until it like peaked. It was awesome this afternoon, and that was it. That was it. It's not. I think that's the wrong word. It's impression. It's more than that. I can't remember what the word is, but I had that this afternoon anyway. And basically, just to back up what Gwen said. Yeah, England is. It's a bit funny characters, and they not give you the time of day if they don't like how you look. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of ignorance and blind ignorance as well. People aren't interested. I mean, like, I lost my dad. Well, I didn't say I lost my dad. His awareness departed his vehicle last Saturday, and I'm all right about it. I'm all right. I mean, I lost my mum about 9 years ago, and I was in bits for a very long time. I was in bits. I would say the relationship I've had with my dad is just as strong as the relationship I had with my mum, if not stronger. He was like a best friend to me for all these years. He was a really good mate to me since my adulthood and before. And yeah, I'm coping with it fine. And it basically it's because I've got the knowledge now. I've got the knowledge and the awareness of what it is, and it just don't phase me. You know, it don't phase me one bit. But obviously, I've been talking to my family about since I've been doing the new presentation, since I've been seeing the new year, which is a good year and a half, year, 8 months, something like that. And all I got this week of them, if I see any of them, is I don't want it in, none of this, and I want even mentioning it. I want mentioning it. I want bringing it across. I just like, well, I've got what I feel about this and how things are, and they've got their opinion of things, and it's like I was just getting some serious negative kickback all week every time I see them, and I just thought, well, I'll just leave them with their ideas and just let them be if they want to be like that, you know. I've told them as best as I know. I can tell them what it is, but they just, I don't know, they just want to be the way they want to be, and that's just I think that's how people generally are. But yeah, the new presentation, it's absolutely fantastic. It is. It's absolutely fantastic, and it just gives you something that I've never had before. It's giving me something that I've never had before, and it's I can't describe it. It's awesome. I love the new presentation. I love what it does. I love what it's about, and more people need to get on it. The more, the better for them. And that's it. That's it. I ain't got anything else to say, Kevin. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Duane.
Yes, thank you, Pearce. Yeah, we all go through this experience with the relatives and whatever, and you want to use the knowledge that you have, that you've learned, as these people come and go, because we all do. And I remember when my earthly mother and father passed, especially the mother first, in about 1990, and that is just let her go. You know, everybody's on their own journey. Otherwise, you hold them and you hold yourself back too. So you just let them go. Let them go. And you can contact these people at any time if you want to. But then at the same time, just like your neighbors or anybody else, everybody's going through their experience. And we're really here to see the bigger picture, but we have to decide that. And there is a much bigger and better picture to see what the real universe is and the all is. Because for the most part, creation hasn't really, known this before in its own way. There's hints at it, but to really get to it, it takes a lot to get civilization and the world ready for this. Yes. So, yes, thank you for sharing.
No problem. I'll pass it back to Kevin now because I've got no more real side experiences to share. Apart from I've read in the books like when you see you either see the light or you hear the sound. Well, I heard the sound last year, and like you say, it's in your ear, and I heard it, and obviously the feeling I got when I heard it. That was also awesome. It's like, it's fantastic, Duane. I can't give it props enough for what it's done for me. The new presentation, the way just singing the new song is it gives you something else that's not available. So thank you, and thank you, Kevin. And back to you, Kevin, mate. Can't wait to hear of your awesome adventures. I have a big problem. I don't have big problems, but I think the sensor is actually working every time because. It's like it happens. Sometimes I get a few, and then I don't get on for months, and then but Kevin seems to get them all the time, and I love listening to him. So I'll leave it to you, Kevin. Thank you, mate.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.